Jax Taylor calls out Brittany Cartwright's home changes. It was all nerves and tension as Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor had their first major sit-down conversation after his time away at a mental health facility on Season 2, Episode 14 of The Valley. At the top of their priority list, their son Cruz. However, as the conversation took place, Jax was quick to call out the new look of their formerly shared home. As Jax noted, wedding photos and photos of the couple together with their son had been removed. Instead, they've been replaced by snapshots of Brittany with her friends, and Brittany and Cruz together. "Looks like I never even lived here," Jax pointed out on the July 15 episode. "I know," Brittany responded. "That's the point. There's not a single photo of you anywhere." But Jax was perplexed at the erasure of him from the home and asked her, "Why are you doing that?" Brittany retorted, "Why would I want to look at your face every day?" Another difference producers noted in the decor was the personalized bourbon barrels hanging on the wall that now say Brittany and Cruz rather than Brittany and Jax. Jax wasn't pleased, to say the least. "Just wipe away 10 years. Just like that," he commented, snapping his fingers. Brittany Cartwright details her exact home changes after Jax Taylor moved out. Brittany shared more of the changes in her home during the Valley after show and answered if she has any pictures of Jax hanging. "No, none," announced Brittany, adding that there's nothing that you can walk in and see that reflects her former relationship. The room that was previously Jax's man cave is now a custom storage closet for Brittany's Christmas and Halloween decorations. Brittany also redecorated the gym to include a pink rug, an "It's Brittany, bitch" sign, a neon hot pink barbell on the wall, and even photos of Marilyn Monroe working out. "I made it super girly because he took everything," she shared on the after show. Finally, she made another big symbolic change that's visible the moment you walk in the front door, a new welcome mat. "It used to say the Koches," she told POPL, referring to Jax's legal surname. "Changed that immediately. It now reads the Cartwrights." Where does Jax Taylor live now? After moving out of his former marital home, Jax relocated to a townhouse next door to Tom Schwartz. "It's been 10 years since I've lived by myself," Jax shared on Season 2, Episode 10 of The Valley as he moved into his new space. As he considered this next chapter, he admitted he was both excited and nervous. Still, he felt grateful to have Tom in such close proximity. "I just got out of rehab. I'm trying to rebuild myself. I need somebody there to talk to lean on," he said. "And I can't think of a better person other than Tom Schwartz to do that. I mean, he's my best friend." Brittany stood in the doorway of what used to be their home, a bittersweet smile playing on her lips. The air still held faint echoes of Jax, a phantom limb ache in the quiet corners, but she was systematically excising them. She took a deep breath, the scent of fresh paint and new beginnings filling her lungs. The living room was her first major reclamation project. Gone were the carefully curated wedding photos, the staged family portraits that once declared their unity to anyone who entered. In their place, a vibrant tapestry of her own life now unfolded on the walls. There were candid shots of her and Cruz, caught mid-laugh at the park, or with flour dusting their noses after a baking mishap. There were goofy selfies with her girlfriends, their eyes sparkling with shared secrets and inside jokes. A particularly cherished one showed her, grinning widely, surrounded by a pile of her favorite books. Jax had always teased her about her reading habits, preferring sports statistics to literary prose. Well, now she had a wall dedicated to her passions, unburdened by his judgment. She walked over to the formerly prominent spot where a large framed photo of their wedding day had hung. Now, a collection of smaller individual frames adorned the space. One held a picture of her and Cruz building a sandcastle, another a serene landscape from a recent hike she'd taken with her friends. The final frame held a quote elegantly calligraphed, "Growth is never by mere chance. It is the result of forces working together. It was a mantra she was living by. The personalized bourbon barrels, once proudly proclaiming Brittany and Jax, had been meticulously sanded down and re-engraved. Now, in elegant script, they declared Brittany and Cruz. It was a subtle yet powerful statement, a visual declaration of her renewed priorities. Jax had bristled at it, of course, his snapping fingers a testament to his perceived erasure. But for Brittany, it wasn't about erasing him as much as it was about affirming herself. She wasn't just Jax's wife anymore. She was Brittany, and she was Cruz's mom. Her gaze drifted to the entryway. The welcome mat, once a saccharine declaration of the conscious, was gone. In its place, a cheerful, brightly colored mat now greeted visitors with a simple, clear message. The Cartwrights, a small private rebellion, perhaps, but one that brought a surprising surge of satisfaction. It felt right, a return to her roots, a reclaiming of her own identity. The man cave was her magnum opus of transformation. For years, it had been a shrine to Jax's interests: sports memorabilia, a large-screen TV perpetually tuned to ESPN, and an oppressive aura of stale beer and unspoken grievances. Now, it was a whimsical wonderland, a custom storage closet bursting with the vibrant chaos of Christmas and Halloween decorations. Twinkling fairy lights were strung across the ceiling, casting a warm glow on neatly organized bins of ornaments and elaborate costume pieces. A life-size skeleton in a glittery top hat peeked out from behind a stack of pumpkin-shaped pillows. Brittany laughed, a genuine, unburdened sound. This was her space, a testament to her love for all things festive and fun, unmarred by any lingering masculine energy. The gym had undergone an even more dramatic metamorphosis. Jax had treated it like a utilitarian torture chamber, a place for grunting and heavy lifting. Brittany, on the other hand, wanted a space that inspired joy and empowerment. A plush, hot pink rug now covered the cold, hard floor, its softness a stark contrast to the sterile environment it once was. On the wall, a bold neon sign glowed, proclaiming "It's Brittany, bitch" in shimmering hot pink letters. Above it, a matching hot pink barbell, purely decorative, hung like a piece of modern art. Her favorite addition, however, was the gallery wall dedicated to Marilyn Monroe working out. There were iconic black and white photos of Marilyn lifting weights, stretching, and even playing baseball. Brittany found a kinship with the legendary star, a shared spirit of strength and glamour. "He took everything," she'd explained on the after show, a hint of steel in her voice. "So I made it super girly." It was a defiant act of self-care, a space where she could sweat out her frustrations and celebrate her own strength, both physical and emotional. Across town, Jax was settling into his new townhouse, a stark contrast to the home Brittany was meticulously curating. The silence was deafening, amplified by the echo of his own footsteps in the empty rooms. 10 years since he lived alone. The thought was both exhilarating and terrifying. He missed the familiar chaos of family life, the constant hum of Brittany and Cruz's presence. But he also felt a strange sense of liberation, a blank slate stretching before him. His furniture was still sparse, a mishmash of what he'd managed to salvage and a few new, hastily acquired pieces. The walls were bare, waiting for him to imprint his own identity upon them. He hadn't yet decided what that identity would be. The rehab had been a grueling but necessary ordeal, a forced reckoning with years of self-destructive patterns. He was trying to rebuild, piece by painful piece. He was grateful for Tom Schwartz living next door. Tom, bless his heart, was a constant, steady presence, always ready with a sympathetic ear or a shared laugh. Jax knew he couldn't have done this alone. He needed someone to lean on, someone who understood the complexities of his past and the fragility of his present. He walked into what would eventually become his own man cave, though he hadn't yet found the energy to truly transform it. He looked around, envisioning the possibilities. A big screen TV, definitely. A comfortable recliner. Maybe a dartboard. He had a lot of work to do, both on the house and on himself. He thought of Brittany, of the fierce determination in her eyes, as she told him there wasn't a single photo of him left in the house. He couldn't deny the sting of it, the feeling of being erased. But he also understood. She was healing, just as he was. They were on parallel paths, both seeking to redefine themselves, albeit in very different ways. Jack sighed, running a hand through his hair. The journey ahead was long and uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, he felt a flicker of hope. He was alone, but he wasn't lost. He was rebuilding, and maybe, just maybe, this new chapter would be his best one yet. He just had to figure out what Jack's looked like without Brittany by his side. It was a daunting task, but one he was finally ready to face. He took a deep breath, the scent of new beginnings filling his own lungs.